Hi, everyone. You're a very quiet audience. Hi, everyone. Good, good. I've been on a few stages. One, the most scary, was in Florida a couple of years ago, where I did a presentation to 1,600 people from all over the world, and believe me, that was scary. But all stages are very scary, and if you have a startup, and if you're going down this road, and if this is what you want to do, this is something that you really have to get used to, because you're always going to be the best marketeer and the best salesperson for your own business, because you're the one that knows it inside and out. So first of all, can I just see a show of hands for the people in the audience that own a bicycle? Okay, quite a few. And then a show of hands for people who use that bicycle to commute to college or work. A little bit less. I'm not surprised at that. And then the amount of people who've had a bike stolen as a matter of interest. And there still is a good few people. Okay, so I have an interested audience then. It all started, I was working in pharmaceuticals. I had a career selling drugs, legal ones, for about 17 years, and really enjoyed that journey. It was a fantastic opportunity. My degree is in marketing, Bachelor of Business Studies, and I started off in marketing, but then I ended up going into sales and loving it and finding that that was my place, and that's what I loved doing. And then I suppose my husband was involved. He's the entrepreneur. He's the one. He's had several businesses, and he had this idea for this business that we have now called Cyclock. And he said to me, "Look, you're the one with the sales and the marketing background. Why don't you join me in working on this?" And I was very close to the age of 40. So I suppose I was looking for a change. I was looking for something different and something to kind of get me excited again about working and getting my teeth stuck into something. So I said, yeah, why not? I might as well give up my career that I've been building for the last 17 years and start working on it. And it was a massive decision at the time. But a very good one, and one that I'm delighted that I made, because I'm 4.5 years in now, and the business is really starting to take off, and 2019 should be a really good year for us. But don't get me wrong, it's been a very, very tough 4 years as well, with a lot of struggles. And when you're in business with your other half, you bring it home. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But when you are passionate about it, you will do everything to make it work. So basically, we wanted to come up with something that was smart. We all hear these words now about smart cities and sustainability and green and carbon footprint and, you know, multimodal transport, and everyone wants to do this whole shared transport thing. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of millennials in the audience. And that's the kind of life that you want now, that you want to share transport, co-living, co-working, and it works really, really well. So we wanted to be part of all that. So we established in 2014, and what we wanted to do is we wanted to get rid of bicycle theft and bicycle vandalism. Bicycles are being used for recreational purposes and for commuting, more and more and more, and it's growing at a phenomenal rate. So 43% increase in people cycling to work over the last 5 years. So what we did was we started off with a very basic model, and we thought, okay, yeah, it's fine, it looks okay, but it's not something you can really shout about. So we went to Dolman Design in Dublin, and we asked them to work with us to create what we have today, which is an ergonomically designed, purpose-built bicycle parking system. But it's got real-time communication tools and web services, and what you're delivering is secure, access-controlled bicycle parking 24/7, monitored and managed. So now we are the only ones, thankfully, till now, anyway, that have this system and have developed this. And people have said, has this not been done before? And no, it hasn't. We haven't found anyone in the world that can offer the same service and the same product that we can. And I know this because I've done a huge amount of research, but also I've spent an amount of time over in Silicon Valley in the States and met with all the large tech companies out there and looked at all the products that are available to them, and there is nothing that offers what we offer. So, eliminating bike theft with a secure storage system. 88% of people who cycle today think about where they're going to park their bike when they get to their destination. So that's telling us that they're worried that it's going to be stolen or vandalised. We want to engage more people to cycle. We want to say to them, look, you've got your €1,000 bike at home, which you've maybe got on the bike to work scheme, or you've spent a lot of your hard-earned money on. We want you to be able to cycle it and not to be worried about where you're going to park it when you get there. And then we wanted to also align ourselves with the Irish Government's 2009 and 2020 National Cycle Policy Framework. The Bike to Work scheme was extremely popular, and that started in 2009 and went for 5 years, and now it's been extended for another 5 years. In 2014, there were 260,000 bikes imported into this country, and we're quite a small amount of people, so that's a hell of a lot of bikes. So what we came up with was something that was secure, space-saving, and charged e-bikes. So I don't know if many of you cycle e-bikes at the moment, but they are becoming extremely popular. And I think in 2 to 3 years' time, they will be more popular than your normal push bike, as we call it. So you need somewhere to charge them. It's like, we're moving with electric cars and hybrids. Now, the majority of people, that's what they're going for, and they're not buying your diesel cars anymore. So the space-saving side of it, we looked at the footprint that current bicycle parking takes, and then we wanted to make that better. So how we've designed it is 12 individual lockers fit onto one car parking space. Normally you would only get 5 hoops that would hold 10 bikes into one car parking space. So even though they're your own individual locker that only your bike goes into, it still uses a very small footprint. So we're keyless, we're cashless, we're cloud-based, and we're on-demand short-term parking. So the parking that's out there is either unsecured, or else it's a locker system whereby it's one person, one locker. So what we say is site and user specific. So if you have a locker, for example, in Houston Station or in one of the DART stations and you have a key, then it's only you that can use it. But the thing about it is when you're not using it, nobody else can use it. And with Cyclock, you can, because it's pay-as-you-go parking. It's like a multi-story car park. You literally walk in, if there's a space available, then you can use it, and you only pay for the time you use. You can access the unit via the app for the public models, but also with fobs or RFID cards. So when we sell to corporates, we can basically program their RFID cards and they can access the system. What this allows us to do is to have a back-end dashboard system where we can manage the parking. So no more sleeping bikes, no more tagging, no more who owns this bike, it's been there for 3 weeks, and we can't dispose of it because we don't know who owns it. With our system, with the back-end dashboard, at any time, even from a smartphone, you can open a locker, manage the lockers, and monitor who's parking in the lockers. So I can say, Louise Murphy arrived at 7:15 this morning and is parked in locker number 7. So we can go right down to there. And then because of that, we can run a lot of reports. Everyone wants data these days. It's all about data. And you'll hear that in a lot of IoT companies. So basically, anything that we can run to Excel, or we can run reports, and we can forecast, and we can tell what's the occupancy levels, and then all the demographics, et cetera, et cetera. So I've touched a little bit on this. Why Cyclock? 461 bikes stolen per week. 75% of that is in Dublin. 66% is stolen within the confines of the city itself. €10 million needs to be spent on bicycle parking. You've probably noticed the dockless bike schemes that are out at the moment. So you've got your Dublin bike scheme, and then you've got the dockless bikes. And the dockless bikes are fantastic, and they're being well used. Unfortunately, though, they are taking up the spaces that are out in the public. So there's no place for you to park your own bike. So with that, there needs to be at least another 15,000 spaces provided for in Dublin. A lot more people cycling to work, and unfortunately, 1 in 3 are victims of theft. But as well as that, 1 in 4 will stop cycling if a bike is stolen. So you definitely want to discourage that. The drivers and the problems, economically, commercially, the public need, there's lots of reasons why you want to encourage cycling. If you look at the one down here, that bike users save 96% versus car users. The amount you save, the fitter you are. If you're looking at your staff, they're healthier. They arrive to work, if they cycle to work, refreshed and revived. There's the theft issue and the vandalism issue, which Cyclops gets rid of completely, but there is that constant move to other modes of transport. So with our solution, what we're providing is it's a hybrid value proposition for the users and for the providers of cycle parking. So facility managers, for example, will be tasked with providing secure bicycle parking. What is secure bicycle parking? Well, it's bicycle parking that when you park there, your bike won't be stolen and vandalized. It's as simple as that. So, you know, even if you've got these fancy locks and you've got 20 or 30 locks on your bike, you know, something can be stolen off it. You know, you can damage the wheels or steal pieces off it. And also you have to take everything off your bike when you're going in somewhere. So if you've got like your smartphone holder on your handlebars or whatever, you have to remove all that because it will be stolen. So our solution is innovative, it's award-winning. We've won a couple of awards for innovation, the Bank of Ireland Startup Awards 2 years in a row, and we've won the Facility Management Award for innovation also in London, and we've won a Street Furniture Design Award in Italy as well. It's tried and tested because we have customers, and let me tell you, in startups, that's the hardest thing to get. So when you get your customers, you look after them, it's extremely important, and then you can get data from them, and when you get your data and you can prove your concept, then you move to your other groups of customers. So that's how you grow your startup. Also, it's revenue generating. The majority of cycle parking out there is free. Every lamppost, every railing, it's all free, but it's all unsecured. So with ours, we charge an amount of money to park, but you can be assured of security. I won't go through the hidden costs of the car parking, but as you can see, it's security, it's cameras, it's putting them in, who looks after them, who gives out the keys, etc., etc. Added value features, I've gone through this. The most important one with banishing the sleeping bikes and the whole corporate social responsibility connection with our product as well. So what have we developed? An ergonomically designed, purpose-built bicycle storage system with real-time communication with monitoring 24/7. But also we can use advertising, so we can wrap the units for advertising, and we can also put a screen in the tower, which is additional revenue. Just a quick word about our biggest customer, Apple. And once we got this one, we thought, hey, we've made it. But we have about 136 lockers down in Apple in Cork. We started our first installation in 2016, and their cycling numbers, we can now say today, has grown by 40%. And that's a huge, huge increase in the amount of people cycling. And because of this, we are installing in Apple in Cupertino in California this year as well. So again, you get one customer, and that's how you get your other customers. So a couple of just last bits that I want to say to you as a group. If you have an idea or a business that in your head that you think, oh, I wonder will that work, don't be afraid to start working on it. Don't be afraid to spend the hours after college or after work, or, you know, look into it, do the research, find out who's in the market, who are your competitors, has it been done before, how successful they are, and can I do this? Because it is a huge amount of work, but it is well worth it. Engage early as well with your local enterprise office and Enterprise Ireland. I think that's a key one because they are extremely helpful. We were involved with Leash Leo, and they've been hugely supportive to us from the start. And I think the earlier you engage, the more that you get out of them. Also, a competent financial person. This is hugely important. You'll spend your first few years doing forecasts, 5-year forecasts, business plan after business plan after business plan. And if you've got a really good financial person, that will make it a hell of a lot easier for you. And set your goals, what you want to achieve. Start with the small ones, and then once you get those, move on to the next bigger, bigger, bigger. Don't look at the whole picture and try and get from like A to Z in one go. Just take all the little steps along the way. But first and foremost, enjoy the journey, because it is a fantastic journey. You know, we're only here for a short time ourselves as human beings, and we've got to enjoy that. And, you know, step out of the rat race and do something for yourself, because it will be well worth it in the end. And best of luck with it. Thank you.